Coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside for this another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. Matt Venezia, Ethan Ryder. We have some new sports to go over this week, as well as some breaking news. Ethan, what do you have for us on that?
Yeah, Sun Devil source released an article Thursday morning that Jaden Daniels, junior quarterback, was expecting to be added to the transfer portal. Even after a poor performance last year, Daniels was expected to be the starting quarterback for the upcoming season, even with competition from Alabama transfer Paul Tyson. Daniels went as far as posting a video on social media that hinted at his return. That video has since been deleted. This decision has already received backlash from fans and teammates who don't seem happy with his choice or possibly what he brought as a player. Daniels had couple passing yards as well as touchdowns in his time as a Sun Devil and was very good during his freshman year. It is still unclear whether Daniels would seriously consider withdrawing from the portal at a later date to remain at ASU this season. If he doesn't, Tyson would most likely step into the starting quarterback vacancy. For now, it adds a lot of uncertainty and bad press to a team that already had enough of it. We'll keep you up to date on the situation as it continues to progress. But for now, we're going to head over to Desert Financial Arena for some men's basketball highlights. ASU taking on Oregon on Thursday night. Marlon Jackson's going to start us off with his first three of a game, and we are going to get back to him later because he started off red hot. But first, talk a little bit about Oregon, who struggled from the floor all night long. This is a Jacob Young air ball. ASU held Oregon to only 35% from the field and under 20% from three-point range. But back to Marlon Jackson. He was cooking early. Started 6 for 6, 4 for 4 from deep, and he scored 14 of ASU's first 19 points, and all of his 16 points came in the first half. He came from scorer, now provider. Dishes it off to Jalen Graham, who lays it in and loses the shoe, but still gets it to go. DJ Horn now was on fire to start the second half, made 3 of his first 4 shots. This one gets to roll in. And now we're going to head back over to Jalen Graham. Fakes him up, slams it home, raised the roof, Jalen Graham. And then right in the next play, back-to-back, Kamani Lawrence is going to take this one from DJ Horn and throw it down on the alley-oop. Get up, Kamani, an exclamation point from Jay Heath as ASU come away with an 81-57 win over Oregon, proves to 9-15 on the year. Jalen Graham gets to ring the victory bell because he was cooking all night long. 18, 9, and 5 for the big man. Looks like a real point forward. 7 and 11 from field. Marlon Jackson as well was very strong from the day. Here's what Hurley had to say about the game.
Thought it was breakout offensive performance for the guys, and just it was fun to watch. It's kind of when you make 12 more field goals than your opponent, it's what it should look like in terms of the score. So it was super fun to see the balance we had. How we guarded with great energy. Holding them to the numbers that they shot, and just it's great to see so many guys contributing and playing well and having fun playing. We've been through a lot this year.
Bobby Hurley and his guys pulled off a big win at Desert Financial, but the ladies also fared pretty well when they took the hardwood last week, as we have highlights from last week's 2 games against the University of Arizona, with the first one at Desert Financial. Jade Lavelle, she's been hotter than ever. We have 2 3-pointers from here to start off this contest for ASU. She had 14 in the first half for the Sun Devils. Shayna Pellington in the third quarter got off to a hot start for U of A as well, and they eventually took the lead in the fourth quarter. And U of A, with 3:20 remaining, there would be this crucial foul on Kate Reese, sending the Sun Devils to the line. And Tay Hansen and Miles Giles knocked them all down, 76-73 ASU late. But with 17 seconds left, ASU's Jade Van Hype draws the charge. The Sun Devils would go on to get the win, upset fashion against number 6 U of A in Tempe. Good scene there over at Desert Financial. Now we go to Tucson, where the Sun Devils look to make it 2 upsets in a row, as Miles Giles started it hot for ASU on this 6-0 run. But the Wildcats would not go down without a fight with this rebound. As you see the Sun Devils pushing the floor, Caitlin Levings keeps it going for ASU. On this inbound here, the Sun Devils, this is Giles trying to get the layup. She makes the tie with 1.5 minutes to go in regulation, but that number 6 team, they eventually did come back to get the win. That's Coy Love with the winning shot. And after some free throws, the Wildcats would get the win at home by 4. Here's what Charlie Turner-Thorne had to say.
We were playing at 9 a.m. We played 8th-ranked Baylor with 18 hours rest. Not even a full day. So we've had a little bit of practice of just quick prep, but I mean this is for everything right now. So it's going to be really challenging.
That one game at a time mentality will be put to the test when ASU continues its road trip to the Washington schools, as Arizona State has been almost unbeatable since the early 2000s against the Cougars and the Huskies, combining for nearly 40 wins. Our very own Eli Gross has more on the upcoming matchups with a new segment, Did You Know?
Thank you, Matt. In a weekend that was supposed to be the midst of a 4-game road trip, it wound up being a typical weekend for the Sun Devils. Arizona State was expected to take on Cal just 2 nights ago, but their flight was canceled due to mechanical plane issues. In the interest of the players' health, the staff decided to forfeit the game. The Sun Devils now look north in their journey to go face-to-face with the Washington schools, who they have not seen this year due to postponements. Historically, ASU has cashed in wins in the Evergreen State. The Sun Devils are 25-5 versus Washington State since 2003 and 24-9 against Washington in the past 20 years. Friday, ASU takes on Washington State, and the Sun Devils have won 11 straight games between these two teams. Wazoo is coming off a nail-biter of a finish and now a 2-game win streak. The Cougars are led by the Ledger-Walker sisters Charlize and Crystal, who work in tandem with each other. After Wazoo, they travel west into Husky territory, and these Husky girls have been struggling. Washington has not seen a win within the Pac-12 conference this year, but the Devils only have 1 victory on the road. Jade Lavelle has been on a tear recently, and the rest of the team is starting to find their game as well. This past weekend, Miles Giles and Taya Hansen put up their season highs in scoring, while Jaden Simmons also tied her season high as well. After this trip, it's back home to Tempe to finish off the year before the annual Pac-12 tournament. Now we'll take you back to the desk with Ethan.
Thank you, Eli. Definitely a tough break for Charlie Turner-Thorne and company. Women's basketball is at the peak of the season, but another Sun Devil team is just getting underway. There has been a lot of turnover for ASU baseball. The coaching staff has had a makeover, including new head coach Willie Bloomquist. Many fans are happy the team parted ways with 7-year head coach Tracy Smith. This has garnered excitement that has been forced to boil up inside of fans since Bloomquist's hiring in June. Fans have spent nearly 8 months reflecting on what this team could be under the new man. When looking at the roster, there certainly is some talent. However, there are a lot of positions that have question marks surrounding them. Reporter Jonah Krell explains how Bloomquist is building a culture that doesn't care about talent.
As the new head coach, Willie Bloomquist is tasked with bringing ASU baseball back to its former glory, including his days as a Sun Devil. Now that's quite the tall task, considering it's a fairly young team with question marks surrounding the roster. As a result, Bloomquist is bringing a new identity to the Sun Devils this season, one that was clearly visible on Media Day a few weeks ago, with several players wearing shirts labeled TNT.
It takes no talent. There's a lot of things where, we have a lot of talented guys on the team, but there's stuff that takes no talent to win a championship.
The talent is clear and present on this year's team, featuring familiar faces in Ethan Long, Sean McLean, and Vander Koy himself when healthy. But in order to reach new heights, Bloomquist and his coaching staff are stressing the takes-no-talent mindset with a focus on the little things.
It's the small things that really have a tendency to get overlooked, especially playing the game of baseball. The TNT, it's like embracing adversity, things like that, where it factors into every day with a baseball team. And yeah, talent is good, but talent's only going to take you so far.
The pitching staff will have to exemplify the TNT model. As Bloomquist mentioned, there are no defined starter roles. All the arms will have to step up and manufacture outs. In the fielding department, fundamentals will also be of emphasis, as ASU fields a new look with Long at third, Hunter Haas at shortstop, and Connor Davis at first base, with Davis having not touched the diamond in over a year. ASU could also see a rotating group at catcher, with the Sun Devils featuring 4 viable options behind the dish. With no mention of ASU in the preseason rankings, and with so many new faces, some of the Sun Devils feel somewhat overlooked, fueling a chip on their shoulder and a relentless spirit.
Obviously, we lose pieces and we gain pieces, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. The coaches are great, but there's no coach that's going to go in the box and do it for you, So we've kind of rallied around. Obviously, we love our staff, but we've rallied around each other and just said, hey, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be us. You know, no one can do it for us, and you know, we're going to take all the information we can get and kind of put our own thing together and be relentless no matter what.
So what does this all mean for the Sun Devils? Well, the final product is still up for debate, but what will be certain is a lot of moving parts trying to get the job done as a team effort. Last season, ASU could only ride the talent of Long, McLean, and now departed Drew Swift, among others, for so long before their season ran out at the Austin Regional. Now, with the TNT motto under a new regime, perhaps that can change this year. Only time will tell. From Phoenix Municipal Stadium, Jonah Krell, Cronkite Sports.
Thank you, Jonah. While talent isn't the center of Bloomquist culture, there is still a lot of skilled players within the roster. We bring in WCSN reporter Zach Woolley to discuss a little bit about the team's outlook for the upcoming season. So the pitching staff is a little depleted. What should we expect from that part of the team?
So yeah, the Sun Devils went to the transfer portal this offseason, and that could be a shaky go of it sometimes, but they brought in 2 quality arms in starting pitcher Adam Tillich and also starter Kyle Luckham from Cal State Fullerton. They have Guy Luckham from West Virginia. Those guys are going to anchor the pitching staff, which is going to be huge. You also have Will Levine returning last year. He's going to be a multi-inning closer. Then your last transfer guy, Chase Webster, transfer from Texas Tech, who can give you one really good arm from the pen. So it's going to be an arm barn and a plethora of arms for the Sun Devils this year.
Yeah, and of course there's a little bit of a new era, new feel with Bloomquist coming in, but what else is new about this team?
So yeah, you look at the assistant coaches. You got Sam Peraza, a really good pitching mind coming out of San Diego State, who is going to have to deal with this plethora of guys. They're going to be playing 27 outs. They're not playing 9 innings. They're playing 27 outs this year. And you have Travis Buck, another assistant coach, hitting. A lot of the players have mentioned and raved about the stuff they're getting from Travis Buck as well.
Yeah, and in terms of starting off fast, it's always important for a team like this in transition. So what should we expect in terms of stopping Dixie State in the first series?
So yeah, Dixie State returns a lot of good guys, including the Hollow brothers, who I found really interesting. Caden is a really good catcher, hits really well, but if they can stop those guys and keep the offense down for Dixie State and get a couple runs with that good lineup that they have, it should be good to go this weekend.
All right, thank you, Zach, for coming in and for your time. It certainly is a mixed bag for the upcoming season, but the new area of Willie Bloomquist has brought a lot of excitement around the team. Here's what the new man said himself.
They played U of A, I think, the last regular season series last year. They beat U of A 1 out of 3 and played them tough the other 2 games, and they have 10 or 12 returning guys from that team. So they aren't going to be intimidated. They're going to be better than people think. We're anticipating a dogfight with them. So they have guys on the mound that throw the ball over the plate and are capable of taking advantage if we're not ready.
Some exciting things to watch with baseball this weekend and all season long, with opening day against Dixie State later this evening. Switching gears to ASU wrestling. Looking back historically, Anthony Valencia's 4 Pac-12 titles here with Arizona State. He's had a crazy collegiate career for the Sun Devils, and a big part of that can be attributed to the training and unique work in the conditioning department for Arizona State Wrestling. With more on that, here's Kellen Croxton.
You have to go when your body doesn't want to. It takes your brain, it takes your mind to keep you going when your body says, I don't have any more.
Conditioning is an important part of every sport. It helps get athletes ready and able to sustain the workload of going 100% for the duration of their matchup. And while other sports require a substantial amount of conditioning, the Arizona State wrestling team brings it to the next level.
Wrestling is different when it comes to strength conditioning because it requires all 3 of the main pieces to conditioning: strength, speed, and endurance. If you look at wrestling, you have to have all 3. If you look at cross-country running, obviously they need endurance, but they don't need speed, right? If you're a weightlifter, you need strength, but you don't need endurance.
You gotta be able to think, process, breathe all at the same time. And I don't know if any other sport requires you to do it on a level like wrestling.
I think the great advantage we have is Paestua Peak. We call it Squaw Peak from the old days. And it's a mountain we run in Phoenix. No other wrestling program in America has a mountain you can run. And it's our great, we call it the great equalizer, our great advantage, because it's so hard. It's a test of your physical and mental ability.
Like they say, like there's no conditioning like wrestling conditioning. Like you could be running and conditioned, like running all the time, but then when you hop on that wrestling mat and try to do a live go, it's completely different. So
Going back to me,
there's nothing really that can condition you like wrestling.
Well, the best wrestlers in the world can score in short time. Can you score in 20 seconds? Can you score in 15? Can you score in 10? The best wrestlers in the world can score inside 7 to 5 seconds. And that's really hard to do. It's really hard to do when a guy's trying to not be scored on, right? So it's not just what you do, it's what he does. And you got to really be able to throw fast speed, multiple moves at somebody in a short duration.
We always get our live minutes in, you know what I'm saying? Nothing simulates wrestling like, you know, actual goes.
He tries to get in our heads and stuff like that, you know, like restarting goes, the clock and stuff like that. So, I mean, it might be because it's kind of just like mentally taxing.
I think Arizona State wrestling team is the best conditioned team in the country. I mean, they train year-round, they run, they lift, they wrestle, and they do it all in the right order. I think that probably the main thing between us and other programs is we do it in the right order. Do you know what you're supposed to do first, strength or speed or endurance? Most programs will do all three, but they don't have a method to the science, and I think that's one thing we're really good at, and that's why we always peak at the end of the year.
The Sun Devils will go up against Lehigh on Saturday, February 19th in their last home duel of the season before the Pac-12 tournament here in Tempe on March 6th. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Kellen Croxton.
That was Kellen Croxton with a deeper look at conditioning here with Sun Devil Wrestling, as now we'll get you ready for the next matchup ASU has on its slate with Lehigh on Senior Day. Number 4, Arizona State Wrestling getting ready for that home matchup. With Jack Bartlett here to give us a preview.
The Sun Devils will wrestle the Lehigh Mountain Hawks on Saturday. It's Anthony Valencia's senior night and the final duel of the regular season for ASU. The match features 4 top 25 matchups, which also includes a top 10 matchup between number 2 Colton Schultz and number 7 Jordan Wood. ASU will wrestle at DFA one final time on March 6th for the Pac-12 championships, and then it's off to Detroit for the NCAA championships. Back to you guys at the studio.
ASU won all 5 of their Pac-12 games before losing in a close duel with number 10 Missouri. After Lehigh, the team will have a little over 2 weeks before Pac-12 championships on March 6th, so they'll make sure to want to finish off strong. Over to Farrington Stadium, though, ASU softball is now 4-2, including a walk-off homer against number 13 Duke. It's really an end of an era with the Hackbark sisters no longer playing for the program. We bring in reporter Jake Seymour to talk about his first impressions of the team.
Thanks, guys. I'm outside Farrington Softball Stadium where the Arizona State Sun Devils hosted the Kajikawa Classic Tournament last weekend. They finished the weekend with a 3-2 record and even picked up a marquee win over Duke. But the performance was far from perfect. They lacked aggressiveness at the plate, and their slow starts plagued them in their 2 losses. The Sun Devils, where they lacked in the box, they made up for it in the circle. The pitching staff had a combined ERA of 2.71, and they had 36 strikeouts on the weekend. This weekend, they'll host the Littlewood Classic, where they hope to continue their dominant pitching and also be aggressive at the plate. Back to you guys in the studio.
Jake talked about the Littlewood Classic. Let's get into it. Let's see how ASU did on Thursday against Minnesota. 4th pitch of the game. Jasmine Hill sends this one yard. She went 2 of 4 on the day. This gives ASU a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. She had 3 runs as well. This was her only RBI of the day, but a heck of a leadoff job from Jasmine Hill. Next up, we go to the top of the second. Lindsay Lopez in the circle. That one is dropped down and sniped down at second base. Good job to end the top of the second. Now we head over to the bottom of the 4th, runner on first. And here is Jasmine Rollin on a line drive. See you later. 2-run dinger, and it's 3-0 to the Sun Devils as Jasmine Rollin runs around the bases. Bottom of the 6th, runner on second. Run rule is 8. Yanni Acuna steps up to the plate and says, I want to go home. Good night to the Gophers at Farrington Stadium. Yanni Acuna goes 2 of 4 on the day. She had 4 RBIs, and it was a big win for Arizona State. 8-0 run rule victory to improve to 4-2 on the season. Here's Trisha Ford after the game.
We're going to see belt down, you know, we're going to attack early. I mean, very basic things, but it was really just for us to like find our breath, get our focus in, get some visualization, you know, just kind of get our heads
There's still a lot more to have on the Littlewood Classic, and we bring in Reese Andrews to tell us about what the Sun Devils have up next.
ASU softball is back in full swing. After taking the 3-2 record at last week's Kachikawa Classic, the number 21 ranked Sun Devils will host the Littlewood Classic that kicked off last night with a win against Minnesota. The Sun Devils will host Portland State tonight at 7 p.m. and will have a doubleheader on Saturday, which starts with a 4:30 matchup against Illinois State and a 7 p.m. rematch against Minnesota. The weekend will conclude with a 3:30 matchup on Sunday against UTEP, where ASU will look to finish out strong. All games will be held at Alberta B. Farrington Softball Stadium at their respective times. Reese Andrews, WCSN.
Thank you, Reese, for helping us out with what to expect on the diamond with Arizona State softball. Now we're going to go over to gymnastics. Last week, the Gym Devils made it 7 years in a row of beating in-state rival Arizona. And with the help of Jasmine Gutierrez's 9.9 score on beam, it helped lead the way for ASU to post its highest score this season, a 199.6. Moving forward now, the Sun Devils have a meet in Tempe against number 15 UCLA as they come here to town. Let's go out to Desert Financial and hear from Tia Reed, who has more.
Thanks, guys. This Sunday, the number 20 Arizona State Sun Devils will take on the number 15 UCLA Bruins right here at Desert Financial Arena. So far this season, UCLA has failed to live up to its expectations. Despite earning their way to a top 15 ranking, the Bruins have only scored above 197 once this season, and they currently hold a record of 2-5, sitting at second to last in the Pac-12. Many of their mistakes have been costly, consequently resulting in low scores and even injury. Nonetheless, UCLA has managed to find some light in the darkness. 2020 Olympian and freshman Jordan Chiles has scored a perfect 10 in back-to-back meets, and she's currently ranked 9th nationally on bars. 2021 All-American and sophomore Shea Campbell has excelled on vault this season, scoring a 9.9 in 4 out of 5 meets. And amidst the struggle, senior Nora Flatley has stepped up in the all-around, routinely scoring in the 39s, including a 39.525 career high. In order to get the win this weekend, the Sun Devils will need to continue to deliver consistent performances like they have the past 2 meets. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Tia. Let's get into the best part of the day. Top plays. Here we go with Sun Devil Wrestling. This is Colton Schultz throwing the body around. He's going to take his opponent from Mizzou off the mat several times in this same clip. He was 15-0 so far this season at 285. The Sun Devils would still fall, though, to number 10 Mizzou, 19-14. But that's a lot of weight there at DFA.
Definitely is. We'll go back to DFA, but a different time. Sun Devil Hoops taking on Oregon in men's basketball. DJ Horn was hot all the second half. This one, though, goes off the iron. Jay Heath can corral the offensive rebound. Whoop, see you later. Slams it home. Jalen Graham raised the roof. 81-57 win for the Sun Devils.
Ethan, I know you love DFA. I do, too. We're going to stay there now for another play. This is back with wrestling. 157. This is Ja'Cory Teamer. Look at that stop, drop, and roll in for the score. And again, another unbeaten wrestler for ASU, Ja'Cory Teamer, 16-0 this season. He gets a hand raise there for ASU.
You saw a walk-off earlier from Yanni Acuna, but this is a catch from Yanni Acuna. Runs a mile to get this one, dives, and makes the grab. Gets the out against a ranked Duke, who they ended up beating 8-7 in walk-off fashion. Take it away, Matt.
Number 1 play stays at Farrington. With the game on the line, Christiana Watson gets the inside fastball. Ethan, she did not miss this one. Into the deep night, upsetting Duke at Farrington with a 2-run bomb. The Sun Devils would win it 8-7. And the ladies on the diamond moved to 4-2 on the season. That was a bomb.
Definitely was. And this, I would say, was a pretty bomb show. I've been Ethan Ryder alongside Matt Venezia and everyone in the studio that has made this possible. And you guys for watching us. Thanks for coming along, and we will see you guys next time.